Hello, friends. Today we will discuss the topic patriarchy and sexual division of labor. So, let us start now. The debate surrounding sexual division of labor is primarily based on the concept of gender role. Sexual division of labor and gender role is quite a debatable issue in sociology. So, it's a debatable issue because some scientists, sociologists, and psychologists claim that the differences in gender role and sexual division of labor is directly linked to biological differences between the male and female. Whereas another group of sociologists, feminists claim that the gender role differences and sexual division of labor is the product of social and cultural construction such as patriarchy. Biology has only a minimal role to play. Before we will try to look into this debate, we have to understand what actually sexual division of labor is. Now, let us see what is the definition of sexual division of labor. Sexual division of labor is defined as the division of labor in both domestic and public sphere, which is based on differences in gender. Sexual division of labor takes into account consideration the gender roles assigned to men and women in a particular society. The most prominent group of sociologists and biologists who claim that sexual division of labor and gender role are based on biological differences are sociobiologists. Now let us study about the sociobiologists. There have been attempts to relate sex differences to differences in the behavior of men and women by using evolutionary ideas. Most prominent of them is sociobiology. E.O. Wilson developed the idea of sociobiology and was and it was based on the Charles Darwin's theory of evolution that human and other species develop and change through a process of natural selection. Second point, not only just physical characteristics that evolve but also behavioral characteristics also develop. The sociobiologists like Wilson and Barras believe that behavior in animals and human is governed by a genetic instruction to maximize the chances of passing on their genes to the future generation by breeding. Man produces million sperms while woman produces only 400 eggs. The two sexes employ different strategy to maximize their chances of passing of their genes. The different reproduction strategy produces different behavior in males and females and also lead them to occupy different social roles. So according to them, men are promiscuous. Males are more aggressive, hasty and fickle because they always try to maximize their sexual liaison. Women are restrained, coy and passive because they wanted to make sure that they will only involve with the most able man, the best possible genetic partner. They hold back themselves until they can identify male with the best possible genes. So sociobiologists like Wilson and Barras related gender roles and behavior with biology directly. So we can witness these things in our society also. So we have to remember these terms. Now, theory of hormones and the brain. Certain tests were conducted on animals to show the differences in hormones in male body and female body decide their behavior pattern. When male hormone testosterone was injected into female monkey, their behavior changed. they become aggressive. It was also found that female fetus, if subjected to prolonged exposure to androgen, male hormone, then the girl develops tomboy attitude. They show that hormone, which is a natural part of the body, decides behavioral pattern of male and female. Nicholson divided brain into two halves, left hemisphere and right hemisphere. Left hemisphere is specialized in verbal and language skills, while right hemisphere is specialized in visuospatial ability. He argues that the left hemisphere is more dominant in the case of girls, while in case of boy, right hemisphere is more developed. Lionel Tiger and Robin Fox, famous anthropologists, argued that the total time human spent on earth was mostly dominated by hunter. So the basic human characteristic is still like hunter. In hunting societies, aggressiveness was the most dominant part of men's psychology. Women were remained predominant in childbearing and food gathering. Women also lived in a group. Also, this pattern of hunting and gathering society is still reflected in respective behavioral patterns of men and women. Because of this kind of natural adoption, men are more dominant, aggressive, and adventurous. Now, functionalist theories regarding gender role. George Peter Murdoch argued that biological differences between man and woman are the basis of sexual division of labor. The biological differences, such as a greater physical strength of men and the fact that women bear children, lead to gender role differentiation out of sheer practicality. Given the biological differences between man and woman, a sexual division labor is the most efficient way of organizing society. In a cross-cultural survey of 224 societies ranging from hunting and gathering band to modern nation states, Murdoch found that tasks such as hunting, lumbering, and mining are predominantly male roles, whereas cooking, vegetable gathering, water carrying, making, and repairing clothes are predominantly female roles. Murdoch argued that because of the biological functioning of the functioning of childbearing and nursing, women is tied to the home. Due to her physics is limited to less strenuous work. Now, what Talcott Parson has said. Parson argued that the family has two important roles in industrial society: socialization of young and stabilization of adult personality. Parsons argued that the role of mother is very important for socialization of young. Parsons characterized the woman's role in the family as expressive, which means that she provides warmth, security, and emotional support. Which are essential for effective socialization of young. Parsons further argued that there should be a clear-cut sexual division of labor for the family to operate efficiently as a social system. John Bowlby supported Parsons' idea and claimed that children deprived of maternal love in early period of their life are more prone to juvenile delinquency. Now let us see what Anna Oakley has said. She has pointed out that there are many societies in which women are far from coerced. She claims that among the Trobrianders, Lesu, Lepcha, Matako, and other tribes, women frequently take in the initiative in sexual relationship. Oakley criticized social biologists as they try to explain universal human behavior which is not universal at all. She gave the theory of cultural division of labor. She rejected the views of Murdoch, Parson, and Bowlby. She rejected the view that there is any natural and inevitable division of labor or allocated social role on the basis of sex. She criticizes Murdoch for arguing that sexual division of labor is not universal, nor are certain tasks always performed by men and other by women. She gave the examples of many societies where biology appears to have little or no influence on women's role. For example, Mupti pygmies, both males and female, hunt together. Among Austrian Aborigines of Tasmania, women are responsible for fishing and catching animals. In present day society also, women are playing important role of armed forces, particularly in China, Russia, Cuba, Israel, India. In India, women work on building sites. In rice growing area, they are agricultural workers, and in all the hilly area of India, most of the livestock tasks are done by women. She argues that mothering and housewife role is socially constructed rather than biological need. Now, let us study about the conclusions of Anna Oakley. First point is gender roles are culturally rather than biologically determined. Evidence from a large number of different societies show that there are no tasks which are performed exclusively by females. Biological characteristics do not bar women from particular occupation. The mothering role is cultural construction. Fourth conclusion is the evidence from the society indicate that children do not require a close, intimate, and continuous relationship with female mother figure. Now, socialization of gender role. The child's self-concept is affected by manipulation. For example, mother tends to pay more attention to girl hair and dress them with feminine clothes. Differences achieved through the channels involving direction of girls and boys toward different objects. For example, different sets of toys are given to boys and girls. Dolls, soft toy, domestic objects to girls and objects like guns, cars and bike, etc. to toys, boys. The use of verbal terms like expression, for example, you are naughty boy is associated with boy and you are practically associated with girl. Male and female children are exposed to different activities. For example, girls are particularly encouraged to bring involved in domestic tasks, whereas boys are more motivated for outside tasks. So, masculinity and femininity are cultural construction created through socialization of gender role. Now, let us study about the Silviya Walby. Silviya Walby has given the most comprehensive theory regarding patriarchy to explain gender inequality, sexual division of labor, and male domination in society. In her book, The Theorizing Patriarchy, she has argued that the concept of patriarchy is essential to analysis of gender inequality. She defined patriarchy as a system of social structure and practices in which men dominates, oppresses, and exploits women. Walby identifies six structures through which patriarchy operates. Production relation. In the household production relations, women are forced to do unpaid domestic labor such as housework, cooking, children care, etc. Even if they are working women. Paid work. Women in labor market are excluded from certain types of work and receive lower pay and segregation in less skilled jobs. We can identify these points in our society also. Third point is patriarchal state. In its policies and priority, the state has a system bias towards a patriarchal interest. Fourth, male violence. Although male violence is often seen as compared of individual acts as it is pattern and systematic. That means generally considered as male violence is an individual act, but it is pattern and systematic. Women routinely experiences this violence and are affected by it mostly. Means during the male violence, it's basically pattern and systematic. In every household, we can witness that almost. Now, patriarchal. Fifth one is patriarchal relations in sexuality. This is manifested in compulsory heterosexuality and in the sexual double standard between men and women. For example, in traditional societies, male can have polygamy but not allowed for female. Patriarchal cultural institutions, a variety of institutions and practices including media, religion, films and education produce representation of women within a patriarchal gaze. This representation of women identifies and prescribes acceptable standards of behavior and actions of women. So we have to remember these 6 points. Now we can add gender concept of social stratification also here, like for example works of Sulamit Farstein, Kate Millett, Silviya Walby, but major focus should be on Oakley. You may take the help of newspaper and other articles from internet to enrich the contents. So it's all about the sexual division of labor. Thank you very much.